Good evening, Mayor. Mr. Mayor and council members, as you're aware, many of our constituents, our business leaders, and our neighbors are reeling from the release of misrepresented information that depicts our community as a dangerous place to live and to work. The city of Texarkana, Texas, like our neighbor city across the state line, has been reported to be in the top 10 most dangerous cities in the respective states. Has also been reported our communities are in the top 100 most dangerous cities in the entire nation. And these assertions are categorically untrue. They're complete misrepresentations of factual data that's been submitted to the FBI and to other governmental agencies. These assertions are deceptive. They're intended to scare people, and most importantly, their purpose is to get people to buy security systems, to subscribe to the data that's produced, or elicit advertising dollars. For the life of me, I can't understand why anyone would place any value in a company who releases information while jokingly referring to their product as infotainment. This company has used formulas to develop lists of the 10 most ghetto, drunkest, and dangerous communities in each one of the states in our nation. Their tongue-in-cheek comments, misrepresentations are really believed by some people. Placing value in these publications is harmful to our community and a disservice to everybody that lives here. These companies simplistically take the reported incidents of crime, which I'll show you in just a minute, and then they divide it by the number of residents by thousands. In our case, it'd be 38,000 roughly. They divide that into the number of offenses, and they come out with a formula that says that we're most crime-ridden. It's based on simple formulas, census, incidents of crime, and all the experts say that those comparisons between that data from one community to another is flawed and should not be done. Sadly, people believe this information. They post it, they tweet it, they repost it, they comment on it, and it makes it appear as though it's valid. These scurrilous articles, in the rush to judgment that they are fact, are a complete disservice to our city. The true story about crime is as follows.
Wrong one. I'll get you back.
All right.
Let me help the trouble.
Okay.
You read back the page.
I apologize for that.
Usually next page button. Next to the one you were looking at. That's going wrong. There you go.
All right. There we go. Our annual crime statistics retroactively for the year 2015, when compared to 2014, shows that our Part 1 crimes, the major crimes that are listed, if you can see that on the screens, murder, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, theft, auto theft, those crimes in total have decreased by 18.6%. That's the highest decrease I've seen in my entire career. Also, you'll notice in the lower right-hand corner that there's a clearance rate on the crimes that we investigate of 48.5%. I might mention that the national average is 30%. So we have a very high clearance rate, and I'll make some comments about that as well. Okay, the next slide speaks to the fact that during that same period of time, we've seen our calls for service go down. The 911 center handles approximately 120,000 calls for service on an annual basis. Our department, Texarkana, Texas Police Department, had 5,500 officer-initiated calls and 31,900 plus 911 calls that we handled, and that figure was down from 41,000 the year before. So 37,000 calls in 2015, 41,000 calls in 2014, a significant decrease again. Year to date, 2016, our Part 1 crimes are down 13.9%. Now, I caution everybody to understand that crime is cyclical. We can see some increases next week, next month, but the trend has been quite evident for the last 2 years now. There's a website called citydata.com. It has about a 12-year chart. This is a 5-year representation of what our UCR crimes look like. They essentially have maintained a rate slightly less than 3,000 per year through to 2014, where you see where it decreased to 2,700, and in 2015, 2,197. So starting in 2000, as we turn the corner in 2013, we've seen a significant decrease in crime. We talked about the crime statistics, and I've shown you how crime has gone down. Let's talk a little bit about the population. The population officially by census is 37,440 residents. But one of our detractors, one of these publications, or both of them actually, continue to use that figure, but citydata.com, the one that's most reputable that we found out there, shows that our commuting population into our city limits from external to the city increases our population between 6 o'clock in the morning and roughly 10 o'clock at night to over 50,000. And the metropolitan statistical area, which is really our business base for our banks and our retail merchants, is 140,000 plus people. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that our population is not the 37.4. It's much higher than that. And so the divisor, when calculating uniform crime report statistics and our incidence of crime, is a much higher number. And when you drill down into the releases made by two particular companies, Neighborhood Scout, which is really tied to the real estate community, and another, the infotainment organization called Road Snacks that publishes these lists about the drunkest cities in the state. When you drill down into their data, they use the real census population, the real FBI crime statistics, but they don't factor in the very detail that they highlight is that that doesn't count visitors or people that travel into the city to do business. And that's why the FBI and other experts in criminology suggest that these crime comparisons be used city by city. Texarkana should be compared to Texarkana. It shouldn't be compared to other communities, and certainly on the top 10 list for most crime ridden in the state here. Off to the side of this, that population data are some traffic counts, and it's hard to see here, but let me say that just to the east of Interstate 59 and Interstate 30 out there by the auto centers, the traffic counts on the freeways on Interstate 30 are over 83,000 vehicle trips per 24-hour period. This data came from TxDOT. It shows that over near state line, those traffic counts are closer to 60,000. Near Summerhill, they're 73,000. One of my favorite areas just north of the interstate on Richmond Road near Sam's, probably one of our most congested areas in town, the traffic count is 27,000. So again, this data reinforces the issue that I'm trying to explain right now, is that our population is not the mere 37,400. And so the calculations are flawed and the misrepresentations are undeserved. This comes right from the FBI's booklet where they publish the information, highlighted in red. It says individuals using these tabulations are cautioned against drawing conclusions by making direct comparisons between cities. Comparisons lead to simplistic and or incomplete analysis and often create misleading perceptions adversely affecting communities and their residents. I think that says a lot right there. Some points to remember is Texarkana is an economic, education, retail, and healthcare hub of the region. Texarkana, Texas, has the most commerce in our region, and for that reason we have many more people traveling into our city. Our resident population totals are not representative of the numbers of people in our community on a daily basis, as I've said before. What are we doing about crime? Why have we seen this downturn? Well, we're effectively communicating with our citizens through social media, through Facebook, through Twitter. There's a application, a website that you can go to. It's crimeview.com, where you can actually pull up the crime statistics as they occur. It's repopulated on a 24-hour basis, and you can actually see little icons where crimes have occurred in our city. We're very open and transparent about this. That information is actually available on a cell phone app as well. So we're trying to be very responsive to our community. We immediately report crime that has occurred. That raises people's anxiety. It causes comments, sometimes unflattering comments, but we're being truthful about what is occurring. As a result of that, we're actually seeing more citizen involvement And as you look at the newspaper, you look at the websites that we post on, you'll see us asking for people to identify suspects. More and more suspects realize that they don't have the anonymity that they had before, and we believe that community assistance, the assistance of you, our residents, the good part of the social media engagement is helping us see a downturn in crime. Our problem-oriented policing team that's reactive to problems in neighborhoods, our neighborhood area coordinators, Officer Kerry Parker's at the back of the room, and he happens to be one of those officers that helps engage neighborhoods to deal with area problems. As I mentioned, we're receiving a great deal of assistance from our citizens in identifying suspects, great assistance from the media themselves, the radio, the televisions, the Gazette. They've all been extremely helpful with us. And as I mentioned earlier, that our average on closing investigations, or our clearance rate on investigations, is 15% higher than the national average. And in short, I can tell you that the men and women of your Texarkana, Texas Police Department are doing an exceptional job. Crime is down more than, as I mentioned, that I've seen in my entire career. That can change tomorrow, but with your help and understanding the facts behind some of these scurrilous publications that have come out, I think that we can continue this trend and continue to have a safe community where we can live, work, and play. I might also mention to you that I've reached out to other communities, and from Savannah, Georgia, a beautiful place to go visit, who's been reported to be one of the most crime-ridden cities in Georgia, to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Cities are feeling the sting of this erroneous information that's posted and reposted and reposted. So my recommendation to you, to our Chamber of Commerce, everybody that cares to listen, is to use citydata.com. That has a host of information out there about the demographics of a community, not only human demographics, the financial data, the crime data, and we can really compare ourselves to ourselves, but you can make a very educated judgment about the rightness of one community as opposed to another. So with that, I'd be happy to entertain any questions that you have.
Any questions for Chief Shiner? Thank you